Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to our panel Sir TUNKU NASHRIL, TUNKU ABAIDAH and Dr. ZAINI ZAINAL ABIDIN. My name is Muhammad Farhan bin ABDUL Malik and Muhammad Al-QAYYUM bin KAMARUDDIN from Group 9 will present on our Viva presentation, which is factors that influence the readiness among young voters to vote for their representative in general election at TAMAN LEMBAH BUJANG. Firstly, we will explain on the background of the study. An election is a formal group decision-making process by which a population chooses an individual or multiple individuals to hold public office. Election in Malaysia include election to public office of the political entities that since 1963 have composed the Federation of Malaysia. At present, election in Malaysia exists at two levels, which are federal level and state level. Federal level election are those for membership in the Dewan Rakyat, the lower house of parliament, while state level election are for membership in the various state legislative assemblies. As the deadline of formation for the general election, politicians are concerned about the vast number of eligible voters who have yet to register. These are the millennials or 18 who were born during the 1980 and 2000. According to a survey conducted by the Election Commission of Malaysia, EC, the turnout of young voters 21 to 39 years old is highest among those above the age of 40. The literature on voting pattern in Malaysia show that this reflects a trend that is broader, thus make it more tangible problem. In turn, 70% stated they are uninterested in politics. 75% say that they find politics to be confusing. When a certain group of people lack political representation, they are likely to become more marginalized over time, leading to the erosion of trust in democratic institutions and subsequently difficulties in governance. Next, we go on our research question. Our research question consists of 6 questions that related with our dependent variable, which is readiness among young voters to vote for their representative in the general election, and our independent variable, which is family factor, political parties, social media and political actors. So, among the questions that included in our research question are such as: what is the readiness among young voters' preference to vote for their representative? What is the relationship between family factor and the young voters to vote for their representative? What is the relationship between political parties and the young voters to vote for their representative, and others? For research objective, we stated 6 of objectives in our research based on what had been related in our research question. So, among the objectives that consist in our research objective are included to determine the readiness among young voters to vote for their representative, to examine the relationship between family factor and the young voters to vote for their representative, to examine the relationship between political parties and the young voters to vote their representative, and others. Next, we also prepared on conceptual framework. That conceptual framework was proposed in order to reflect a clear understanding of this study. Our dependent variable are the readiness among young voters to vote for their representative in general election. For independent variable, we stated 4 elements, which is family factor, political parties, social media and political actors. So next, Muhammad Al-QAYYUM will continue on our presentation.
Okay, thank you Farhan and also to the panel. Now I will continue on the research methodology. The research methodology aims to use a quantitative technique and use a questionnaire to collect the data. The sampling size, which include the sampling frame and sampling procedure, is the next area of emphasis. Next, we continue on the sample size. For this research, the sample size was 285 young voters, as the population size for young voters who live in Taman Lembah Bujang is 1,100. Based on the data from the Statistic Department of Malaysia and the Facebook data research, this population size also was taking into account young voters who have moved and also registered in other parliament. Okay, so this is the table for the sample size of population by Krejci and Morgan that we use on our research. And okay, next is the sampling technique. We have used stratified method for our sampling technique. And the probability stratified sampling technique is used when all the subject of the whole population have equal chance to be included as sample population. And the table on the slide have shown the proportionate stratified sampling size for each phase in Taman Lembah Bujang. And the data collection that the data used in the study has been collected directly from the respondent through a questionnaire using a primary data as a source. And the questionnaire that has been distributed through WhatsApp and Telegram platform among young voters in Taman Lembah Bujang. Okay, next we move to the data analysis. After collecting the data, we analyze it using the statistical package for the social science or SPSS to convert the raw data into information that could be used to answer the research. And for the pilot study, we had selected 47 respondents among young voters in Taman Lembah Bujang to test reliability of the questionnaire, and the result was evaluated by using Cronbach's alpha value. And the primary objective of the pilot study was to determine whether the respondent experienced any difficulties in completing the questionnaire. And according to the result of pilot study, the Cronbach's alpha value for each variable are acceptable for this research. And next, we move to the finding and analysis of this research. The finding and analysis pertaining to the outcomes of the analysis and finding regarding the result of the disseminated survey. Based on the table shown, gender is the first factor which encompasses both men and women, and there were 205 respondents overall, with 80 of them being women. In terms of frequency, women outnumber men is 71.9% to 28.1% respectively. And the respondent between the age of 18 and 22 also make up the biggest percentage of respondents. And the data for races reveal that more than 277 respondents, or 97.2%, were Malay, Chinese 1.1%, followed by other races with 3.1%, and Indian with 0.7%. Okay, now we move to the research finding. For the research finding, we have decided to use a descriptive statistical analysis for the first objective, and for the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth objective, we decided to use the Pearson correlation coefficient method and regression analysis as the last strategy. Based on the table shown on the slide, for research objective 1, that is to determine the readiness among young voters to vote for the representative. The mean average is 3.65, which is considered to be relatively high. For RO2, there is an association between family factors and readiness among young voters, and it is accepted. For RO3, there is a relationship between political parties and readiness among young voters, and it is accepted. Okay, next, for RO4, there is a connection exists between social media and readiness among young voters, and it is accepted. For RO5, there is a connection between political actors and readiness among young voters, and it is also accepted. And lastly, for RO6, based on the table, political parties is the most significant factors that contribute to the young voters in choosing their representative in general election. And lastly, for the research implication, we can conclude that political parties is the most important that influence young voters to vote for their representative in general election. And the research result also shows that there is a significant relationship between all independent variable and dependent variable. Okay, that's all from me. Now I will give back to Farhan to continue present on the next slide.
I will continue on our recommendation. We had identified two recommendations, which is firstly is to widen the study area of adding more location in order to increase the sample size. This is because we only limit the study area only among young voters in Taman Lembah Bujang, Merbuk. Moreover, we were able to gather a large sample size and able to get more accurate data for the research. Secondly, make young people aware and ready on the importance of choosing leaders. There are a handful of young voters who take this for granted. This is because it is very important in determining the future of the country. Next, we go on research limitation. There are several limitations found in this research. One of the research limitations is the small sample size. The sample size of this study is only 285 respondents, as we use the stratified sampling in order to determine the total of sample size used. If the sample size is too small, statistical tests will fail to detect significant association within the dataset. Next limitation faced by us in this research was respondent unwillingness to answer the questionnaire. The questionnaire for this study was created utilizing the Google Form platform, which need to be distributed using platforms such as WhatsApp. However, it took a long time to complete the questionnaire since the we were having difficulty in getting response from the respondent because many young voters does not cooperate well. In conclusion, there are 4 independent variables have been carried out in this study, which is family factor, political parties, social media, and political actor. Based on the finding from the questionnaire, it revealed that the most factor that contribute to the young voters to vote for their representative in generation is political parties. The least factor that contribute to the young voters to vote for their representative in generation is political actor. As a result, the data from this research can be used to enhance the level of readiness among young voters to exercise during general election. Thus, the data from this research can be used to enhance the readiness among young voters to vote for their representative in general election. That's all from us. Thank you.